Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video today on the channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the long anticipated Avatar: The Way of the Water, directed by James Cameron. This film stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, and Stephen Lang. Of course, this is a continuation of the very first Avatar movie, and it's about Jake Sully's family, as now he's been on Pandora for a while, and he has a family. So when the humans start to come back, they specifically target him and his family, forcing them to escape the forest and go to the ocean where they find this new clan of avatars. I watched this movie the other day, and honestly, I had weird expectations for this movie, because honestly, regardless of everything, I knew this movie was going to be visually amazing. I had very specific worries though, just because the first film, it is a very visually stunning movie, but I found the main plot of the first film didn't really do it for me. And I know James Cameron's a great director, he is a great director, but the first one just wasn't my thing, to be honest with you, after rewatch. So I was hoping Way of the Water could actually pique my interest a little bit more and actually be that Avatar movie that I was hoping the first one would be. And after watching it, I can gladly say that that is exactly what this movie is. A genuine improvement in just about every way, in my opinion. I'm just going to discuss the obvious thing right now. I already said it. The visuals are incredible in this movie. Absolutely incredible. I didn't know how they could possibly make them look better from the first film, because in the first film they look really good, but after seeing the second film, it shouldn't be as glaringly obvious, but the visuals in this movie are on a next level, even compared to the first movie. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like, constantly throughout this movie, I was just looking at these characters' faces, and I was just thinking about how in the last one, as much as their faces looked good, like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to describe it. This film, their faces look, in my opinion, pretty much perfect. Sure, they are a little strange, like, I think you still need to get over that a little bit, but just the emotion that you can read off these characters' faces from this mocap and this CGI is incredible. Like, I have no idea how they were able to accomplish such a feat, but my god, they freaking smashed that milestone, and it looks absolutely incredible in this movie. And also the way they blend these characters with, like, the water landscapes, it seems like it should be, like, a little less impressive than it is, but oh my god, like, it's seamless. Like, you genuinely cannot tell half the time that this is, like, actual real water. It looks real. The way the characters interact with it looks real. Like, I like to think there's one scene where he's, like, tying a rope in the water, and in most movies it would look kind of weird because they're trying to CG in this water probably, but in this movie it's seamless. Like, it's crazy, and the textures aren't taken away from the actual CGI characters. It's almost improved, and it makes it look even better. Like, I cannot describe how good this movie looks. There's one scene in particular when this character is on this beach, and I'll put a picture up for reference of what this actually looks like in real life, but they seamlessly add this beach with this CGI character, and I'm gonna say it right now, it looked real. It is amazing how realistic these characters look now, and the environments around them, and the creatures within them. Oh my god. And that brings me to the other thing. The creatures in this movie are absolutely amazing. Like, that was the big thing in the first film that I really loved too, but I think these might be my new favorite. Every creature is just rich with its own type of lore, and it's just amazing. It's so fantastic, especially in this movie, how they perceive it, because they're actually a big part of the plot, which I won't spoil for you guys, because I actually really want you to go watch this movie. But just keep that there. What also pairs well is the soundtrack. This soundtrack in this movie is wonderful. It's just as good as the first one, if not better. It shares some familiar soundtracks and tunes from the original, I noticed. But I don't know why, I found the music so much more impactful this time around. The music was just relaxing when it needed to be, when they're, like, in this underwater landscape, and then super brutal and intense when it needed to be, in the really good fight scenes that I will talk about. But let's talk about the fight scenes now in this movie. I don't know what they did, but they somehow made the action scenes in this movie look even better than the first. Because honestly, the first film, I thought looked really good for action scenes, but this movie, I think, takes it to the next level. I think they just up the brutality of it, and it gives every punch and every swing just 10 times more weight to it, and it just gives it so much impact. And all around, the choreography was just better in general opposed to the first film. Like, there's one scene between the General and Jake Sully, And that fight scene was friggin' amazing. It was so good. And how they're able to translate that to like these underwater scenes as well. Fantastic. And I actually want to discuss the plot again, because the plot wasn't my favorite part about the first film. And I can gladly say here it is much, much better. It is very simple, I will say that. It is a very simple plot. It very much relies on the first film, and in some ways is the first film, just with more to do. But there's one thing that sets it apart, and it's that this film is genuinely, like, way more interesting, in my opinion, than the first film will ever be. There's just certain things and ideas and concepts that they put in play in this movie that are just a lot more fun to watch than the original, in my opinion. And just everything was better surrounding this plot. It was simple, but it was just done 10 times more effectively in this movie. And I actually really enjoyed the main plot, and I got really invested in the plot that they were going for. And it was just really entertaining and just really engaging the entire way through. And another big thing that I think helps that is these characters. The characters in this movie also have taken a dramatic increase in how much I actually care for them. They are actually really good in this movie, and some characters that I actually didn't expect to be pretty good were really good. Like in this movie, they mostly focus around Jake's kids, which I was actually shocked about, but that is a thing. They more center around the kids than actually Jake Sully and his journey. It's about the kids adapting in this new sort of landscaping culture, and it was mesmerizing. And I think all the voice acting and the mocap was excellent for all these characters, especially Sigourney Weaver. I have no idea why I liked her so much, but she was amazing the entire movie. I think she gave the best performance out of everyone. I think her mocap looked the most realistic, and she honestly just had the best moments in the movie for me. But I loved her character, Kiri, in this movie. Definitely my favorite of the franchise, and I hope to see more going forward, because they actually put some pretty good lore in, and some interesting ideas that they don't fully explain in this movie. It's more of a mystery thing, which they probably will explain in Avatar 3. Another shock to me was the general character, Stephen Lang's character. In the first film, I very much described him in my review of being just a soldier, just a random soldier, just, I'm gonna kill everything, I'm the brute guy. But I was actually shocked in this movie. They actually gave the character a lot of personality. I was genuinely shocked how much I was enjoying this character and this villain walking around. They actually give him morals in this movie, which is crazy, I know, in movies. But they actually gave him some really good morals that actually made me sympathize with him a little bit. And they put in certain ideas that were genuinely just really interesting. And I really found myself getting sucked into his character. Even though he does have an occasional one-liner, it's funny, and it's actually, like, not as, like, in your face, I think, as the first one, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Taking this all into account, the characters and these facial expressions, the emotion in this movie was definitely there. There were a lot of really impactful and emotional scenes I think for anyone's standards, if that's with the characters or the creatures that you're seeing on screen. There are a couple moments that are just extremely heart-wrenching. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't get emotionally attached to these things. I didn't cry or anything, but I was really getting sucked into this whole plot, and just emotionally, it was really hitting me. And I can actually speak from my significant other. I watched it with her and some of my buddies, and she at one point was full-on breaking down crying. I am not joking. There is one scene in this movie that I think really hits with certain people, and man, it was really impactful, and take it from her, she was crying her eyeballs out. I had to, like, go over and go, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm just really pissed off." The message of this film is also very similar compared to the first film, as in that film it was very much deforestation, but in this film it's more centered around this idea of commercial fishing and to protect our oceans, which personally with me actually does hit a little bit harder, as that's where most of my childhood was. And I actually thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed that message, and I think that's what definitely helped the emotional aspect of this movie. And I really like that message, and there are some more racial undertones in this movie. That I said, before are really well done. Like, it doesn't come off as super obvious. It's more of just like the stuff you would expect. It's like you look slightly different, so we're gonna kind of bug you. And then it's about acceptance after a while and learning your place in this world. And I really enjoyed those messages overall. And if I was to go over some cons, they're just little nitpicks. Like, one specific thing, this movie is long. This movie is 3 hours long. It probably doesn't need to be that long also. I definitely think they could have shortened this movie just a tad and it would have made the experience a lot better. It's fine that they didn't. I still think the pacing was actually pretty decent for the most part, but in a 3 hour long movie, it felt like they were adding certain things that really didn't need to be there, and they were more just there because, hey guys, look at my CGI, it looks amazing. Also in this movie, I felt there might have been a tad too many characters. Like, most of the characters are pretty well developed and fleshed out, and I did enjoy them, but there are some that really don't need to be there. One specifically, there's a character called Spider, and I didn't really like his character very much. I understand why he was there, he was important to the plot, but I just didn't really enjoy him in this movie. He's the Tarzan of the Avatar universe, and it's like, okay, like, I don't know, I just didn't really like his character. And every time it cut back to his journey, I just wasn't as emotionally invested, even though what they're trying to imply is that it is important, which it was to the plot, but it just wasn't very entertaining to watch, and I just didn't like his character at all, really. There are a couple weird points in this movie, too, where they say certain things that are just, what? Like, they don't make sense in the movie that they're writing here. Like, I won't go specifically into it. Maybe people will be able to dive. Maybe this is just me being a prude, honestly. But there's just a couple moments they say a word and it's like, really? Like, I don't know. It feels like a little childish when they say it. I know it's meant to be a joke in the movie, but it's just like, really? Like, was that necessary? I don't know. It's a weird little nitpick for me. But it always bugs me in movies when they go for a certain tone and then they say something that completely strays from that tone. It's just weird to me. And I will say this as a joke, the word dude is used so many times in this movie. It's used so much that I noticed it like within the first 7 times of them saying it. Where every time a certain character reacts with another character, it's dude, oh dude, hey dude. It was weird. I don't know why dude was used so much. It made me laugh, but like, I'm just gonna leave it there. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't have a lot to criticize. I'm genuinely shocked I enjoyed it as much as I did. And that's honestly why I'm gonna give Way of the Water a 9 out of 10. It is an extremely satisfying experience. It's visually stunning and amazing and revolutionary. The plot's actually pretty simple, but it's really good and very effectively told. And I really like these characters, and the world building was phenomenal. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw here, please like and subscribe down below for more videos on the channel coming soon. And I'll see you all next time.